hell's wrong with you, Jackie?
Shut the fuck up and don't you move. Oh, what is this? What the fuck is this, huh?
Hey, now that ain't got nothing to do with you. I carry that all the time. You been talking to them police too much.
Oh, the police didn't try and strangle my ass.
Oh, come on, girl. You know I was just playing with you.
Oh, I ain't playing with you. I'ma unload both of these motherfuckers if you don't do what I tell you to do. You understand what I'm saying?
Jackie, stop acting crazy.
Do you understand what the fuck I'm saying?
Yeah, woman, damn.
Now sit your ass down on that sofa.
See? Police start fucking with your mind. They start pitting black against black. That's how they do. You know, been doing it since the beginning.
Shut your raggedy ass up and sit the fuck down.
Hey guys, and welcome to another podcast crime movie discussion, and this is of Jackie Brown from 1997, directed by Quentin Tarantino, of course. I had the chance to see this in the cinema recently, so this is coming at it from a whole new angle. Obviously, seeing this in the cinema, every movie comes alive a bit more at the cinema. It was already one of my favourite Tarantino films. You know, I think Pulp Fiction was indeed a shotgun blast through the movie industry. It completely changed everything. I think people these days kind of underestimate Pulp Fiction because it absolutely changed the game. The excitement and the swagger and the electricity of that film and the just incredible script, the incredible characters, the incredible set pieces. How was Tarantino to follow that up? And he decided to go a more of a quieter route. He decided to go a more grounded route with Jackie Brown, which is an adaptation of the novel Rum Punch by Elmore Leonard. It focuses on Jackie Brown, played by Pam Grier, and it's really about a woman's journey to liberate herself in a world full of danger and oppressive men in a lot of ways, and oppressive society in a lot of ways. And it's Quentin Tarantino showing his love for Pam Grier. You know, she's a very badass actress from movies such as Coffy and Foxy Brown. Pam Grier made a name for herself as a badass woman. Not many people talk about Jackie Brown when we talk about badass women roles. We talk about Sarah Connor, we talk about Ellen Ripley. Jackie Brown is right up there. You know, Pam Grier is fantastic in this movie, and she's a great role model for women in this movie. She takes absolutely no crap from anyone, no man, not anyone. Jackie Brown gets taken in for moving money around and collecting drugs for Ordell, played by Samuel L. Jackson. And it's about how she starts working with the police to set up a fake money transfer of Ordell, but then she goes behind the police back and pretends to Ordell that she's on his side still. It's who's playing who against each other, and every character in this is actually, you're wondering who is playing who. That is very impressive by Tarantino, because it really should be about who's Jackie Brown playing off. But really, you can look at any character in this and wonder what they're going to do, and that's the mastery of Quentin Tarantino. And to see the progression from Reservoir Dogs to Pulp Fiction to Jackie Brown, I think it might be one of the greatest progression of films in movie history. You know, every film is completely different. Every film just conquers cinema in a different way. And the sad thing about Jackie Brown is it didn't have the acclaim of Pulp Fiction at the time, but these days a lot of people look at it as his best film. Now the dust has settled. I would still say Pulp Fiction, because I just can't get past the set pieces, the dialogue, the acting, all of that. I can't get past it. It's just such a monumental piece of work. I watched that again recently too, and it's probably the most entertaining movie ever made. Pam Grier's Jackie Brown is just, she deserved some accolades back here. I'm really, really saddened for her that she didn't get anything here. I think Jackie Brown is a great, great character of toughness, of survival. You know, you can relate to Jackie Brown. Like, if that amount of money was up for grabs and you could play people off against each other, even though it's a criminal act, and everyone in Tarantino's films is a criminal, you've always got to accept that. You kind of think to yourself, maybe I would do that. It's a film about temptation. It's a film about what would you do in the situation, you know, and it really, really gets you to empathise with Jackie Brown's situation and understand why she does what she does. Tarantino does exactly what he done with Uma Thurman in Kill Bill later on, which is present her as $1 million every time she's on the screen. You know, the filmmaking techniques he has to shoot Pam Grier, shots that linger on Pam Grier but just make her look cool. She's cool. She's just as cool as any other guy who would be in this role. And the song that plays at the beginning and at the end in the close-ups on Jackie is 110th Street by Bobby Womack. Now, I will never listen to that song again and not think of Jackie Brown. It's just absolutely perfect. The song's about survival, struggling, dealing with your life and your circumstances, doing what you know might be bad, but it gets you out of a place. And it's essentially Jackie's story, that song. And the song literally in the movie becomes part of Jackie. That song is a part of her personality in this film. It's so alive, that song. You will never forget it, and you will always think of Jackie when you hear that song. And that's, when you use songs in movies, that's what you want. You want the viewer to never forget that they were in your film.
Across 110th Street, pimps trying to catch a woman that's weak. Across 110th Street, pushers won't let the junkie go free. Across 110th Street, woman trying to catch a trick on the street.
Samuel Jackson is stunning in this. He's a horrible person. Ordell Roby, this horrible guy who just sells guns and has people he uses all across the country, it seems like. But again, Tarantino's films are about flawed people and bad people, but you just enjoy watching them. And it's crazy because obviously Pulp Fiction, you only see them in chunks. This is where he goes, right, I'm going to make you see these bad people for the whole film, and you're not going to struggle to find something to like. You're going to like them all the way through, even though they're horrible people. Samuel L. Jackson's character, Ordell Roby, is cold-blooded in this. He's despicable. But Samuel L. Jackson just brings that wit and that charm and that great performance. But I never really noticed until this watch how different this performance is to his performance as Jules in Pulp Fiction. I always thought that he was just put in here to recreate that excitement that Jackson created in Pulp Fiction, but no, it's an entirely different character. You know, it does have some of the Samuel L. Jackson inflections and memorable lines, but it's a different character. Ordell is calculating. There's no redemption arc as there is for Jules in Pulp Fiction. Ordell is basically a savage, but whenever he opens his mouth, the electricity of Samuel L. Jackson comes out. You know, again, Tarantino is using musical cues when he's on screen. There's a stunning scene where Ordell kills one of his workers, played by Chris Tucker, where you don't believe he's going to. That's a great set piece. And of course, music's a big part of Ordell's character. The song that plays when he kills Chris Tucker's character of Beaumont, or where he's getting ready to kill him also, Strawberry Letter by the Brothers Johnson. It's a really cool song, but also a calculated song, and almost like a dark song. And hearing it play creates quite a dark feel, but also a stylish feel. It's a sum up of Ordell's character. He's cool, he's slick, you know, he's great, but he's deadly. You know, and that's what that song represents. And Tarantino, it's incredible the way he doesn't just pick songs off of his record collection, as he may be accused of doing in other films. In this, they're all intricately placed, and they help the characters. Robert De Niro as Lewis, Ordell's right-hand man in this, shows once again why Robert De Niro is one of the greats. You know, he chooses to be laid back. He chooses to create a character who has seen it all in this. He chooses to be quiet. He chooses to be reserved. He tries to keep it at a certain level, this performance, and it's fascinating because you never know when he's going to snap. He's a character that throughout the whole film, just know that at some point in this film he's going to snap, and he eventually does, and when he does, it means something. And De Niro's just little twitches and little moments of facial expressions are just stunning for this character. You wonder what's happened to this guy. He seems like a broken man. He seems like a desperate man. And he seems like a man with lots of issues and lots of anger problems. That's why he's so almost disturbing in the way he just sits there silently and takes everything in around him. It's like you just wouldn't want to mess with him though. Robert Forster as Max Cherry is the bail bond guy in this, who is the one that Ordell uses to bail out Jackie Brown and to bail out Chris Tucker's character. Forges a romance with Jackie. They have a great middle-aged romance. You know, you don't see this a lot in films. It's always got to be the young, beautiful people having a romance, whereas this is people at the middle road of their life. Jackie is desperate. She confides in Max. She sees a friend in Max, and they get closer and closer, and this proves that Tarantino can write romance. It feels very organic. Who would have thought that Robert Forster and Pam Grier would have a really natural romance on screen? but it really is. The little looks between them and the little moments that shows Max looking at Jackie, admiring her, you know, there's time for the tension to build, and there's such a good connection between these characters because they are at a similar point in life. They're at crossroads, both of them. He's the kind of wild card throughout all of this. You know, the whole thing is just a big back and forth game between all these characters, but Max is the wild card, and that makes him an even more fascinating character. Michael Keaton has a scrappy, frantic performance as Ray Nicolette, the police officer who is working with Jackie, or thinks he's working with Jackie. And he shifts between suspicious and trusting, and it's just got that great Michael Keaton energy of he's never sure of the situation, but at times he thinks he's sure of the situation. There's a confidence to Ray, but there's a real shift now and again. An interesting relationship with Jackie and those classic Michael Keaton outbursts. Just a really fun character. It's Keaton really letting loose with this police officer who has a little bit of an ego, wants to be the one to solve things, but also thinks he's smarter than he is. And everyone in Jackie Brown pretty much thinks they're smarter than they are, except for Jackie. She's as smart as she appears, or, you know, she tries to hide it from some characters, but you can just see it coming through. This woman knows more than you. Of course, when it comes to the money run scenes, you know, obviously they do a trial money run, and they do the real money run. That's one of Tarantino's greatest scenes. We have the closest to Pulp Fiction in the way this is delivered, because we see the same events from different characters' eyes. We see the money run through everyone's situation. You know, and we don't just see it in terms of we go from one character to the other. We see each character's journey through the whole money run. So Tarantino will show the whole scene again through someone else's eyes. And that really builds some suspense and some intrigue, but it's also that classic cool Tarantino filmmaking formula. You know, it's Tarantino ripping the rule book apart and having the fun he had in Pulp Fiction, but this time with a little bit more, I guess the word would be integrity and dedication and restraint, because while he's doing some crazy cinematic stuff, there's twists and turns and there's investment, because he sticks to the script, he sticks to the characters. It never gets above its station, and even though it's wild and crazy, it's following a very novelistic and focused approach. We have a different investment in each character during the money run. You know, so every time we see it through a different character's eyes, we get something entirely different out of the entire scene, and I love that. And again, you don't know how it will end, and it's wonderfully shot and presented by Tarantino. There's a real theme of self-preservation and liberation for the character of Jackie. There's themes of aging constantly discussed. Jackie says she's getting older, how it's different for women, and she has that conversation with Max about aging. It's about running out of time in life. It's about getting desperate. It's about who is really a bad person if they do something bad, and I think this film masterfully delivers that scenario. In general, we would think of what Jackie's doing in this film as always bad, but no, Tarantino confronts that. It's like, if you had the exact same situation of Jackie, maybe it doesn't make the crime okay, but would you do the same thing? Who knows? It's, again, relating to people making desperate choices. It's probably Tarantino's most likeable character yet, Jackie Brown, because every character is a bad criminal in Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. Jackie isn't a bad person, but she is a desperate person. It's all mapped out why she's doing what she's doing. You can choose to support her or not. It's about different life stages. It's about how you can not worry about the direction of your life in certain stages. Then you get to a point where you will make desperate and rash decisions, and maybe wrong decisions, but you will act on impulse and self-preservation a lot more. There's the idea of male oppression. Bridget Fonda is the only other female with a substantial character in Jackie Brown, Melanie, and she is basically nothing. She's under the thumb of Ordell. She's used by Ordell, and the only other women we see are women that Ordell has got set up at different places, basically just hardcore into drugs. Like, Ordell is controlling and treating the women in his life incredibly badly, but Jackie is the one who can rise above all of this male pressure cooker which is trying to keep her down. It's about her overcoming. It's about not letting other people define her. It's about being resilient, and that's entirely a great feminist step by Quentin Tarantino in this film. Jackie Brown is a wonderful piece of work. It's disciplined, it's entertaining, it's intriguing, there's stuff beneath the surface. It might not have the rewatch factor of Pulp Fiction, because that film is just fun any time of the day. It is just supreme fun entertainment. But Jackie Brown, when you bust it out and you put it in, you realise this is great. This is Tarantino stepping up to the levels of Martin Scorsese, Michael Mann, Brian De Palma. It's that good. It stands up with those films, and Tarantino pretty much dipped his foot into there and then just jumped in head first and proved he was not a flash in the pan. It's a stunning crime drama. It really, really is, and it deserves more accolades. It has got in recent years, but it's Tarantino almost the best he could be. Jackie Brown, you know, it has the fun, it has the swagger, but it's also incredibly well put together, well paced, acted, directed. Everything about Jackie Brown is fantastic. Check out another crime movie discussion on the screen now, and subscribe to this channel where I talk about these sorts of movies all the time. Also talk about other movie geek content. Let me know what you think of Jackie Brown in the comments below. Thank you everyone, I'll see you guys in the next video.